Those mountains are great, but I want to tell you about the new growing mountain in intraoral radiography, specifically the NOMAD. You're here in Orem, Utah, and I'm pleased to welcome you here at the home of ARIBEX, where we manufacture the NOMAD, the innovator in handheld battery-powered X-ray technology. I'm excited to be able to walk you through some of our processes about how we operate as a business to get us to the point where we now have delivered over 13,000 NOMADs worldwide, a 20% market share in the United States, and still growing rapidly. Come on in, we'll show you how it works. All right, now let me introduce you to the reception area here at ARIBEX. This is Danielle, our receptionist. When you call in, if you don't opt to go directly to customer support, Danielle will make sure you get routed to the person that you need to talk to or that can help you. I also want to point out, these are just a few of the dozens of awards that we've won. Our organization for being high growth, as well as our product for being game-changing and innovative. Most of the awards are recognizing that we are revolutionizing intraoral radiography in the dentistry world here in the US and actually worldwide. Now let me take you down our administrative hall. Here at ARIBEX, we're a fully contained business unit with every different department and discipline needed to run a business. We have accounting right here on site. We also have human resources right here on site to support all of our employees that are working to build NOMAD products and make this business successful. We have a conference room here. This is actually a testing room where we do isodose characterizations and other types of testing. This is the administrative wing here at ARIBEX. Now I'm going to introduce you to the product development area here at ARIBEX. This is Grant. He's senior electrical engineer for ARIBEX, and you can see he's actually got a device that's opened up over here. And you can see the cone and the collimator and even the backscatter shield. This team focuses on two things. One is on driving improvements in our existing devices, but in addition to that, they're also focused on new innovations for products that are going to be coming out in the years to come. Now I want to bring you over just to show you this. I have to be honest with you. I have no idea what all that means, but I know that it means one thing. Our engineers here at ARIBEX are smart and they build amazing products. Now we're going to actually bring you over into one area of ARIBEX that's just one piece of what makes us so innovative. You see, we actually introduced the concept of a battery into the intraoral radiography experience. And as such, we take very seriously our responsibility to understand how these batteries perform and what it's going to take to deliver the best experience to the end user customer. And what you see here is a fixture that was built to go through an accelerated life test that reenacted, but in an accelerated way, what use a device would typically go through. And these batteries are ramped up and ramped down, ramped up and ramped down to see how long can they last before they start to fail or before they start to wear out. We've learned amazing things about the batteries and about the technology, and we're doing everything we can, one, to make sure that the battery life is as long as possible and that it's responsive in every single circumstance that the customer is going to be using the NOMAD. Now let me take you over to this area. Remember, the three reasons why every customer should be buying a NOMAD is because the NOMAD offers the most uptime, the fastest workflow, and it's the most flexible for use in all the different applications that you can think of in dentistry. Now I want to introduce you to one other section here in our product development. This chart right here keeps track of all of the major projects that our team is working on. Again, for looking at making our current device better and more effective, as well as at future innovations. And they use this chart to keep themselves on target with the highest priority activities and projects here at ARIBEX. I want to introduce you to someone. This is Reed Best. Looks like he's on a very important phone call. He's the Director of Regulatory and Quality Affairs. Reed and his team oversee, again, a standalone quality system, as well as all the regulatory functions needed to support ARIBEX and the NOMAD worldwide. Now, Reed and the rest of the team here, Chris and Mark and Jason, their focus every day is first on making sure we're putting out a great quality product. Our facility here as a manufacturer of medical devices is ISO 13485 certified. We're also subject to being compliant with the FDA and any of the audits that come in correlation with those, as well as other countries where we're registered throughout the world. Making sure that all of our work instructions are tightened down, our CAPA process is working efficiently, and running a good quality system is one focus. The other focus is on regulatory affairs. And as you know, the pre-market work for 510K with a NOMAD is pretty simple compared to what it takes going state by state here in the US and country by country throughout the world to get approvals. This team is working feverishly in those states where we don't have the level of approval we quite want yet. They're working feverishly to get those approvals so that we can sell more NOMADs and penetrate the market even further. And then they're obviously doing the same thing worldwide. Remember, the NOMAD offers every customer the fastest workflow, the most flexible uses and applications, and the most uptime. Let me introduce you to Stacy.
Hi, I'm Stacy Mims. I'm the Total Care Plan Specialist.
So let me tell you about the Total Care Plan and how all this works. When a customer buys a NOMAD, they obviously have their standard manufacturer's warranty. However, if they drop it for some reason, or if for any reason they need to send their device back to Orem, to our service team, the Total Care Plan actually allows them to do that at no cost whatsoever. We will pay for the shipping to bring it to us and to send it back to them. All that will be done overnight, and we will get them a free loaner device to their doorstep so they have no downtime in their practice. Stacy's role here is to do outbound calls to our existing customers to make sure the program is working well as to reach out to potential new customers that could be interested in the extended service contract. So all of this area is where the sales, marketing, and product management happens here at ARIBEX. We pass international sales and marketing. We have all of our domestic marketing team here. And then right over here, we have our product management team. Again, here at ARIBEX, we're a self-contained business unit. Every single discipline and function to run this business and that goes into building the devices, it all happens right here. Got to remember safety glasses. Now where you're at now is the place that the magic starts and it finishes. All the materials come right in these doors. They're inspected by our quality team to make sure that there's no faulty product that comes in that would ever go into a NOMAD. Our team here builds up the NOMADs and goes through several processes and work instructions that are obviously ISO 13485 certified. Everything's tested, final, boxed, right in this place. They're ready to ship, and then they go right back out that door to our happy customers. Now I'm going to welcome you to the potting room here at ARIBEX. This is the place where we literally mix our secret sauce. The sauce is a mix of silicone and rare earth materials that create a viscous substance that then, when put in the right environmental conditions, will actually harden, and it creates a very effective shielding property around an X-ray tube or any type of a radiation device. I'll show you a little bit about how this works. This is the X-ray tube that goes into the NOMAD, and you can see we've already started to make some adjustments to this to be able to fit within the potting mix and the rest of the componentry that I'll show you. We take this and we put it into this clamshell. And the purpose here is that this clamshell provides shielding or protective properties, and then it has this primer paint coat on that allows the other silicone and rare earth materials to bind to it and stick effectively. So these are married up together and then potted, and the result is something that is actually much heavier because of this blend of rare earth materials. You can see that's what it looks like, that gray substance there. And now you actually have an X-ray tube that's completely encapsulated, and that when powered properly, the radiation will come only out this spot and there won't be any leakage. Now the next step in this process is actually performed by a manufacturing partner that we have. This is sent off to them and it comes back looking like this. and we call this our monoblock. And what happens is this other manufacturing partner marries up the power supply with the X-ray tube, pots it one more time just for safety precautions, and then marries it up with the PCB board and the transformer, which allows us to go from about a 22 to 24 volt battery and ramp it up to about 60,000 volts, push it through the X-ray tube, and it drives all the radiation, because of all this shielding that's happening, it drives all the radiation right out this spot from the X-ray cone and then out the end of the cone, so there's no leakage to the operator. That's the monoblock process. Now I'm going to take you and show you another process here at ARIBEX. Let's see if we can put a NOMAD together. This is Kyle, one of our production workers. Kyle, do you mind if I borrow this for just 1 second?
No problem.
He's in the process of doing final assembly on the device. You'll notice here's the monoblock that we talked about before. This is the culminator cone. You note the potting material as well as the pink primer paint. That's brought right into position here to allow the exposure of the focal spot only, and again driving all the radiation straight out the device. It's then put together in this manner with the last piece, the end of the culminator cone and the backscatter shield, to become a final NOMAD and ready to go out to the customer. Now I want to take 1 second and talk specifically about this backscatter shield. When it comes to operator safety, we have two concerns. One is leakage from the back of the device. You've seen our monoblock is very effective at driving the radiation out the end of the cone. Now the only other concern from an operator's perspective is any backscatter. When that radiation comes out, that could bounce back towards them, holding this device in their hand and standing right chairside with the patient. This is a lead impregnated acrylic. And what that means is that for you as an operator, when you hold it correctly, it creates a zone of safety for you so that any scatter that comes back from the patient would either hit this shield and be dissipated by the lead impregnated acrylic, or it would either go above or below you. So it creates a perfect zone of safety. And you as an operator, or anyone as an operator, then knows that using the NOMAD is just as safe, and we've even found in some cases it's safer than using a traditional wall mount unit. Next, let's take you over to our battery chargers. Let's talk about the batteries that make the NOMAD work. Each NOMAD comes with 2 handsets, and in each handset are the lithium polymer batteries that start this whole process of being able to create enough power to push through that X-ray tube to create the highest quality images available. What happens when this is put on a charging station? Now our customers don't have their charging stations on a wall like this. This is merely a test fixture because these lithium polymer batteries need to be cycled and need to be exercised. And in that process, before we ever ship a NOMAD out to a customer, we make sure to charge it all the way up, then we drain it all the way back down, and then we'll charge it all the way back up again to make sure that battery is properly exercised so that when our customers get the NOMAD and they open that box for the first time, they have a device that works. Batteries that are ready, they're exercised, and they're ready to get into a cycle of regular use. Let's take you back and show you where we keep inventory. So this is where we inventory all of the parts and components for the NOMAD. As you look around and notice, you'll see green tags, red tags. Everything that comes in here at ARIBEX has to have a quality inspection, and anything that we touch or change or alter or add value to in any way has very specific work instructions that our production team has to follow very closely, and then be inspected to make sure those work instructions were followed. Once that's completed, they come into here, into the bins that have a green approved sticker. And then our team knows when they're pulling components to build NOMADs that they're coming and pulling the right parts that are approved for the right time for the right NOMADs. Let's go show you where the final testing's done. The final testing that we do on every single NOMAD is very important to us. We have very specific specification criteria that each device must fall within. And so here, you'll see we're doing testing of devices. It's important to note 2 things. First of all, Every device is exposed at least, or actually more than 80 times before it leaves our facility. And we're testing for KV variability, MA variability, and certainly for leakage. In fact, if you look over here, you'll see our operator does have a ring badge on, and we also have a wall badge on. So if all of the dozens of independent studies that talk about how safe the NOMAD is aren't enough, we have our own study going on right here at ARIBEX every day. We test dozens of NOMADs a day. We have dosimetry badges and a dosimetry ring on the individual who's actually testing the device. They're testing for, like I said, KV variability, MA variability, and then certainly for leakage. And what we've found in over a decade of doing this is our dosimetry badges never have any readings on them whatsoever. The NOMAD's safe. Now this is where final packaging takes place. Now that the device has been tested and we know that it functions properly and it's ready to go to our customer, this is where it's put together. Now normally customers order their device and it comes in a nice cardboard box, protected in the foam filler as you see. This customer, however, wanted a hard shell case. And you'll note it's got wheels and it's got a telescoping handle, so it can act just like a carry-on bag that you take on an airplane with you. And we call it a hard shell case because it's exactly that. If you ever think you're going to take your NOMAD out of the office or in any type of remote setting, this is a great way to protect your device. And so you'll see in the final packaging, you have the tube head, you have 2 batteries, you have the crate, the charging cradle, and then the power cords to be able to connect the charging cradle properly. Also that comes with the device of great importance, besides all of the important work instructions and the device history record that we keep, is this slip of paper. So what this slip of paper actually represents to the dentist is saving a lot of time and a lot of money. And what that means is, as we do our final testing here, we issue a certificate of conformance that basically says all that a dentist needs to do in terms of time and money to install our product is open up the package, put the battery handset onto the head, and they're installed and they're ready to go. There's no need to put special wiring or back plates. There's no need to have an installation expert come and put it in, or a radiation expert come in and test for leakage and to make sure that the device is working up to spec. All that is done right here in Orem, Utah, and installation is easy as put the handset on and you're ready to go. Let's show you where we keep the final NOMADs. This is where we keep the NOMADs, waiting for customers to order them. We always have some on the shelf ready to go. You'll see here are some in their hard shell case, ready to go to the customer. We have several boxed up. All of them have their work instructions and the device history record with them. You can see the final labeling for the outside packaging is ready to go. And all of that translates into being able to get devices out as quickly as possible and always on time to our customers. Now we're going to show you customer support and where we take care of any devices that have challenges. Let me show you. I want to introduce you to the customer support team here at ARIBEX. When you call in at our 800 number, you'll talk to either Dawn, Amanda, or Catherine. And they're here to take care of all your needs, 8 to 5 Mountain Standard Time. Now, one of the important things about the way we're set up here in customer support, these devices right here, you'll notice, have been sent in because they need to do a repair on the device. The repairs on devices, need to put my glasses on here, actually happen right here. Ken Pearson is our service technician, and he'll actually take a device apart, go in and diagnose any issue or solve any issue that's in the device. Then it'll go back over to testing where the certificate of conformance is issued. And then the device goes back out to the customer. And the interesting thing, or the compelling part of all of this, is that customer support has visibility from that very first phone call right here to where it's fixed, going back downstairs to go back out to your customer. They have visibility through the entire process to try to create the best experience every time your customer interacts with us. Now, let me take you this way. The manufacturing engineering process here at ARIBEX is very important. If there are any components that come in and that don't meet our spec, or if anything through all of our testing protocol don't meet our standards, they come right here to our manufacturing engineers, where they've got test equipment here They've got test equipment over here. All of this is set up to allow them to be able to properly diagnose any challenges, whether it's PCB boards or plastic, anything that might be a challenge, to make sure that we're sending out high quality, functional NOMAD devices to the customers. Thank you for coming to visit us here in Orem, Utah, home of ARIBEX, the manufacturer of the NOMAD, the device that's revolutionizing intraoral radiography worldwide. This device, in the hands of a dentist, will always deliver the fastest workflow, the most flexibility, and the most uptime. To learn more about our company, I personally invite you to visit us at aribex.com, call into our customer support team, send us an email. We'll do everything we can to take care of you. Again, thanks for coming.